How we doing, Reds? I'm Terry, and welcome back to TNL Football. So, discussing the pre-match press conference and the sort of build-up to our first leg Europa League tie against Sparta Prague. Now, we are playing away, and we all know European away atmospheres can be electric. European nights at Anfield are one thing, but you go to a European sort of slightly lower team or less, so not one of the top teams, their atmospheres, the ultras in their club and their fans are absolutely mental. So I'm expecting an incredible atmosphere at the game. I firmly believe that Sparta Prague's fans will get right up for this. And the atmosphere can be potentially a little bit intimidating. But I do also believe that we've been there before. We've worn many a t-shirt, and I don't think that will ultimately phase us. I think what could be a potential banana skin for this game is Klopp has decisions to be made, and the decisions are going to be that of Dominic Szoboszlai, Mohamed Salah, and maybe one or two other players who are just returning back from injury. Now, we do know, if you haven't seen it, the reports of Caoimhin Kelleher being injured over the last day or so on social media is complete and utter fabrication. He's absolutely fine, and the best number 2 in the world is probably going to play. The likes of Alisson, Trent, Thiago, Bajcetic, Jota, and one or two others, Matip, they are dead certs not to play. They're still out injured, and they're probably not very close to a return at this stage. But the biggest problem we will have is what team do we field? Now, as I said, Szoboszlai and Salah are returning, and they are back in training and could feature in the game. However, we then have the little matter of a massive and astronomical tie against Manchester City on the weekend. The question is, does Klopp risk them in the game tomorrow, or does he give them that extra bit of time to come back and be fighting fit for the tie against Man City? Now, if it was me, now I'm not a football manager and I certainly don't have as much talent or gracious smile as Klopp does, but if I was a manager in this situation, what I would do is I'd play the game without them, see how it goes. Now, if we get to a position where we are a couple of goals ahead towards the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes of a game, give them a run out. But tell them not to go mental. Just have an easy sort of run through to the end of the game and get some minutes under your legs. But obviously football's a funny old sport, and we just don't know if that's even remotely possible. So yeah, the biggest banana skin we can have, as I said, was who do we play? Now, Klopp is obviously a master at deciding what team is going to be available at the right time and who is going to be available at the right time. Now, it doesn't just mean fitness. That means which players are going to be up for it, which players are going to be in the right mental state, which players are going to be at the peak of their fitness or their ability at that given moment. And that's Klopp's job. Ultimately, that's what he gets paid for, and we'll leave that down to him. So he was very coy in his press conference about who may play and what the starting lineups will be, as he always is. So we'll obviously have to wait until tomorrow to see what team he puts out. But I'm sure, like all the Reds that watch me or watch him or watch anything to do with Liverpool, we trust what he will do. So obviously we know that it's going to be a somewhat makeshift team. Not makeshift, but it's going to be a somewhat changed side. But as I say, Klopp will obviously do what's right for us. As I said at the beginning, it's going to be a tricky tie. Despite them not being in the sort of top 5 leagues in the world and not being an ultimate European powerhouse, they are top of their league and they're playing very, very well, Sparta Prague. They will have something about them. Do I think they'll have enough to really challenge us? Probably not. What we would have coming off the bench, if required, would be more and better than what they would have. So I think my ultimate and overriding feeling of the game will be they will give us a good game and it won't be a walk in the park. I do think we'll probably win by a couple of goals, whether that's 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, so on and so forth. I think we will definitely have a goal or two advantage to take to Anfield. Now, if not, if it's a draw in the first leg, that's not the end of the world because we do know what can be achieved and in the European night back at Anfield. But yeah, I'm going for I'm not going for a result as such, but I'm gonna say we'll win by a goal or two at the very least. And yeah, I think they'll give us a good game, but ultimately I think we'll have too much. And then we'll take them back to Anfield. I think it's a week or so later, maybe 2 weeks later, don't quote me. And then we'll obviously get the job done and head off to the next round. But look, these are my thoughts. Ultimately, I'm speaking for hopefully many Liverpool fans. What I would appreciate is if everyone could leave their opinions in the comment section below, smash the like button, and ultimately what I need is you to subscribe to the channel. Let's build this community, let's talk about football, and ultimately let's talk about Liverpool because that is what we love. As always, see you on the next one.